Grand Rising. I'm going to let you guys know, since your government and your people, your pastors and priests aren't letting you know what's going on. What you're seeing is the transition. You are seeing the fact that you are going to be getting transitioned up out of here. This is the beginning of the transition of the Gentiles getting the hell up off of the lands of the Most High and his children. You have been warned again and again and again. But see, since you became the vassals of the Catholic Church, you seem to think that no bad things can happen to you because white Jesus seems to just only want you to party all the time. But as you can see, these events, these hurricanes are now coming quickly, back to back. And they're things that you've never seen before. And now all of a sudden you get these people who don't have insurance, and they can't rebuild because there is not going to be any rebuilding anymore. Let me show you a little something. This is Joel chapter 2. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar, and let them say, spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to a reproach, which we gave. Our heritage was given to you, our lands, our resources, that the heathen should rule over them. And that's what you've been doing when you set us up as foreigners on our own lands, and you raised up everyone else, all the vassals. That's what you've done, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their God? That's what you've been saying. Where is the God of Israel? We're doing this to you, that to you, and nothing ever happens to us. Well, things are happening to you now, aren't they? Then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. So see, this is why these events are not happening on the lands, because these storms have memory and they're coming after you, because you are the descendants of the people who destroyed our people. Yea, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith. And I will no more make your approach among the heathen. But I will remove far off from you the northern army. He's removing your guys' army, which you can already see. As you're like, where's all the choppers? Where are they? Why aren't they coming to help us in North Carolina? Because the army's already been removed. And will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face toward the east sea, and his hinder part toward the utmost sea. And his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he has done great things. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. And you're seeing him doing great things now. Now there's more. You're hearing all these people talking about climate change and all the things that are going on with climate change. Well, let's look up what the word climate is, because see, the definition they're giving you today is not what the definitions were back then. This is from a dictionary here from Samuel Johnson from 1781. And what do they mean by climate back then? Climate back then was much different than what you're thinking of it as now. A space upon the surface of the earth, measured from the equator to the polar circles, in each of which spaces the longest day is half an hour longer than the nearer equator. And the main thing is that a region or a tract of land. See, there is a climate change going on, but you guys have a totally different definition. Your definition deals with weather. This is just telling you it's just a tract of land, a region, right? Climate change, where you live, the region where you were allowed to come into is changing. You were never allowed to come here before 1492. You were brought over here, to serve, because we had to serve a punishment, and we were going to go under you. That was all the prophecy that Columbus was using, is knowing that he was going to get his opportunity to come over here in his book of prophecies. They knew about this, and that was what the prophecy was, that you're going to be able to come over here for a certain amount of time. They didn't tell you guys that when you made that deal with the devil, when you decided to join his church, that you were only going to be able to take these lands for a certain amount of time. And then after that, there was going to be a climate change. It was going to be a region or a tract of land. That's what it's all about right now. You think it's all about just weather. And let's look at the definition they have today. Right here. Climate. Now they have a dictionary right here. The weather conditions prevailing in an area in general or over a long period. So see, they changed the definition to be just about the weather. Oh, it's just all these really bad storms. Oh, it's just about storms. That's all it is. A region with particular prevailing weather conditions. Okay? The prevailing trend of a public opinion or another aspect of public life. And that's kind of like this climate has also changed with the world is now going against you. The animals are going against you. The weather is going against you. That kind of the climate is also going on. The angels who have been told to stand down while we were going through our punishment are now standing up against you. That whole climate is turning against you. Before you were going through your blessings for a time, but now the curses are falling upon you. That's why you're seeing these events. You got Helene, last couple of weeks it went through and just did all this destruction, and you saw now how your government has not stood up for you, and it's not going to, because they have no power. Like we've been telling you for a very long time, they have no power. So see, you change definitions so that people think, oh, it's just about climate, it's just about the climate change and the weather, and people are now saying, well, there's not going to be any way to change this. It's just how it's going to be now, and it's right, but it's not about the weather. The climate is about you living here, you keeping these lands. There's nothing you can do to change what is happening. Well, so you hear people talking about, you can't change climate change. You're right. You can't change it because of the fact that you got your certain amount of time. Genesis 15:13. We were going to go on to you for 400 years, but then after that, the Most High was going to deal with you. And that's exactly what you're seeing going on right now. The Most High is dealing with you. So you can see right here, as number 2, a region or a tract of land is changing. That region or tract of land are these lands here in the Americas, Turtle Island, as well as our other islands, Ophir, all of that. All of the lands that were promised to us are now changing hands. This is what the climate change is all about. The lands going from the Gentile rulership back to the rulership of the Israelites. That is what they really mean when they're telling you about climate change, but they don't want to tell you what it really means. They want you to talk about some bigger storms, how global warming is changing. The global warming is the fact that you have raped, robbed, murdered, and stolen everything. You've hidden all of this information. You've hidden who the Israelites really are. You've hidden who the Most High give authority over the scriptures to. You've hidden everything. And now the Most High is now giving authority back, has given authority back to us. And now he's moving to give us our blessings once again. All of our blessings in Deuteronomy 28, okay, revolve around the land. You had your opportunity to, enjoy our blessings, and you ran it into the ground. That's why you now have $36 trillion of debt, because all of the resources weren't even enough for you. You managed to run up huge debts when you owned everything, because you have an insatiable appetite for things. You can never be satisfied. You needed more and more and more. And now the Most High is now moving against you. He has pretty much taken the power away from your government. Where are your priests? Where are your pastors? Where are they to tell you what's going on right now? See, they're telling you to do is just wait for a rapture. Wait for a rapture to take you away from a mess that you were responsible for making. The Most High doesn't work like that. You made this mess. You don't get to get raptured up out of the mess you created. That is not how this works. You have lied about everything. You have lied about who we are. You all walk around knowing that you're vassals of the Catholic Church. You all walk around knowing that your church has taught you absolutely nothing. What do you know? If you've been going to church your whole life and you've been listening to this priest and these pastors, why are you so out of the loop at this point? Why is the only thing you're worried about now is getting raptured up out of here? Because it wasn't us that made this mess. It was you. So shouldn't it make sense that you're going to be here to actually help to clean it up? That you're going to have to be here to help pay for all of the dirt and the horrible things that you've done? That the things you've done to my people are now going to fall upon you and your children? We didn't get out of we had to pay for our sins. So what makes you think that you're going to have to pay for yours? So when you're looking at these huge storms and they're like, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. Like the storm shores last time was 6 to 7 feet. Now this one might be 15 feet and it's just going to destroy everything. Yep. That's the whole point. And the fact that the insurances have walked away and most people don't even have insurance anymore, so they can't rebuild. That just shows you where we are right now. You are never going to rebuild. You are never going back to status quo. We are not going to the bottom ever again. And you will never be at the top again. So this is what's really going on that your pastors and priests ain't telling you. Shalom.